Okay, and then also before you do anything, what you need to do is you need to decide what percent horsepower you're using, or RPM. So you and you always pick 65% power for RPM, which gives you 9.5 gallons per hour, but I just always round it up to 10 gallons per hour because it's just on the safe side. So then whatever your cruise pressure altitude is, which ours will be 10,000 feet, then I'm going to pick the closest temperature, which you find in your winds aloft chart. So I found 10 degrees Celsius. And then, so I'm just going to pick the closest one. So Celsius, it's above this one even. So I'm just going to use the highest one here, which is 2,515 for the RPM. And then true airspeed is 119 minus 3 because the wheel pants are removed, gives me 116 knots for my true airspeed. And then gallons per hour, I'm just going to put 10 gallons per hour, 65% horsepower, and the pressure altitude of 5. So the first thing that I did was I just copied everything down from this UND fuel card, and then I copied it down onto this piece of paper. So you have your pressure, altitude at departure, cruise horsepower, gallons per hour, all the rest of that stuff. And the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to gather information about the airports that you're going to. So here I have my departure airport, my destination airport, and my cruise. So for the cruise, I just went to the route on 4th line. Let me see if I can pull it up. I went to flights, and then I'm just going to show on map. And on this route, we picked 10,000 feet MSL, so that's our cruise altitude. Okay, and then for my departure airport, I'm going to find my pressure altitude, my temperature. I'm just going to write down the field elevation so I have it. And then pressure, altitude, temperature, field elevation, and then altimeter setting. And then my departure airport is Gateway, Kiowa. And then my temperature is 27 degrees Celsius. My field elevation is 1,484. And then put that in my field elevation 1,484, and then my altimeter setting is 3002. And then I'm going to do the 290902 minus 3002 to find my pressure, altitude times 1,000. Okay, so now that I have all this information about my departure airport, I'm going to find the exact same things for my destination airport, which is whatever you choose, but for mine it's Havasu. Okay, so now that I got my departure airport and my destination airport, now I'm going to find my cruise temperature, which if you go to your flights, whatever loads, and then you go to briefing, then go to the winds aloft chart, and then you'll find your temperature. So let's see if it loads. Okay, and I'm just going to go to my winds aloft forecast, wind chart, winds aloft table, and here I can see that it will be at 10,000 feet, it will be 82. Oh, sorry, the wind will be coming from 82 degrees, 10 knots, and the temperature is 10 degrees Celsius. Okay, now that we have that, here's the order we're going to do everything else in. So first we're going to do the climb, then we're going to do approach, plus 15 minutes, and whatever gallons go with that. And then you're going to do cruise, and then you can do the rest of that. So starting with the climb, you're going to go to documents, and then you're going to go to your POH, if I can ever find it. You're going to go to POH, and then you are going to go to the weight and balance section of it. Okay, and then you're going to go to the time, fuel, and distance to climb chart. You can see right here, and then you're going to draw on it. And oh man, this is not going to end well because I'm on the computer. But basically, let's see. Just let me use lines. Distance. Okay, so then you're going to start with your departure airport. So my temperature for my departure airport is 27 degrees. So I'll go to 27, and then my pressure altitude is 1,284. So I'm going to go to 27. And then 1,284, and then you just bring this line straight across. Oh, that's not a very good line, but that's okay. That's kind of bad, but it's okay. You get the point. And then you're gonna do your cruise, which is, let's see, 10 degrees and 10,000 feet. So I'm gonna go to 10 degrees and then go all the way up to 10,000 feet, which is right there. And then I'm gonna jump. Oh yeah, go. Okay. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna go across from 10,000, and then you're just gonna draw a line straight across. And then you're gonna go down here, and you're gonna, wherever these lines intersect, you're gonna draw a line straight down. And then you do that for both the departure airport and for the cruise airport, and for the cruise altitude. Okay, so you draw all those down. And then what you do is you take the cruise altitude values and you subtract the departure airport values. So for example, here you have 30 minutes and here you have like 5 minutes, so you do 30 minus 5 to get 25 minutes. So what I just do is I always write down all these values and then I subtract them. Okay, so once I got all of these values for cruise and climb, I did cruise values minus climb values to get 25 minutes, 6 gallons, and 35 nautical miles. And then here I wrote down 25 minutes and then 6 gallons. And then I forgot to mention this at the beginning, but for this cross country I'm using full fuel, so it's going to be 48 gallons. And if I do 48 gallons divided by 10 gallons per hour, that's about 4.8 hours times 60 minutes gives you 288 minutes. Okay, so now you're going to do the exact same thing for the approach, but you're going to use your destination airport and then your cruise value. And then you're going to do your cruise minus your destination airport, and that will give you your approach. And then for this one, you're going to use the fuel time and distance to descend chart right here. And it works the exact same way as the fuel time and distance to climb chart, so I'm just going to do this really quick. Okay, so now I did all the values for the cruise at 10,000, 10 degrees, and my destination airport, which was, let's see, pressure altitude 713 at about 30 degrees. So then what I did was I found all those values, and then I subtracted cruise minus destination airport, and now I'm going to get my values, which includes 24 minutes, 4.5 gallons, and about 50 nautical miles. Okay, and also on the approach, I always add 15 extra minutes because you never know if you're going to have to hold or stay in the traffic pattern. And then 15 minutes times, if you do the formula to get gallons per hour, which would be 15 divided by 60 times 10, gives you 2.5 gallons per hour. So then once you have this, you add all these together and then you put this right here for your approach. So that would be 39 minutes and then about 6-7 gallons. Let's go. Okay, so then for the approach, I'm gonna put minus 39 minutes and minus 7 gallons. Okay, now time for the cruise portion. So for the cruise portion, what you're going to do is you are going to look at your total time on ForeFlight. So if you go to ForeFlight and you go to, you can either look on your map, but I'm just gonna go flights, and then I'm gonna go to my nav log. So it's gonna take me total time about 1 hour and 51 minutes. So that's about 60 plus 51 is about 111 minutes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that 111 minutes, that total time, and I'm gonna subtract 25 minutes and 24 minutes. Now I'm not subtracting the total 39 minutes because I added in that extra 15 minutes and 2.5 gallons for the approach, but that's not included in this total time. So I'm gonna do 111 minutes minus 25 minus 24, and that will give me my total time en route. Okay, so now that I have subtracted those, I get about 62 minutes for cruise, and then I get, to find the gallons, I do 62 divided by 60 minutes to find how long that is in hours, which is about 1.1 hours, times 10 gallons per hour is 10.1 10.1 gallons per hour. So I'm just gonna, I messed up the math earlier, which is not good. Okay, so minus 10.1, and then what you're gonna do to find the total used is you're gonna add up these three. Okay, so here what I did was I added up all the negatives, so all the things that you use, and you get 23.1 gallons, and then I added up all the minutes used, and then you get 126 minutes, and then I did the starting fuel minus the total used to get my fuel remaining in minutes, which is 162 minutes, and then the total gallons minus the fuel remaining to get 24.9 gallons of fuel remaining. And then what I did was I just put in what I'll need for the reserve. So for the reserve, I need at least 45 minutes because we're instrument and per UND policy. And then if you do 45 divided by 60 minutes times 10 gallons per hour, you get 7.5 gallons is needed. So then that is basically all you have to do. And also, oh yeah, never mind. And then if you also wanted to do an alternate airport, you could just include that here. And what I would just do is I would just use the for-flight calculation and then subtract that to get your total used, and then you need to make sure you have 45 minutes and 7.5 gallons on top of that. So yeah, that's basically all you have to do, and yeah.